Are you thinking about selling a property and you're not sure where to begin, how to make the process as stress-free as possible, how to maximize your return on investment for your asset? Well, today we're getting into phase 2 of the home seller process, so stay tuned. Hi, I'm Theresa Wellman with Homeowner Experience Real Estate, and using our years of experience, almost 20 years, and selling over 200 listings, we've worked out a process to help sellers avoid mistakes, maximize their return, and minimize the stress throughout the process. So we've got 5 different phases we've laid out based on the time frame, but leading up to your move of what you should do to work through this process very consciously and step by step with our guidance so that you can do this as easy as possible and avoid those mistakes. Okay, so in the previous video, we talked through phase 1, which is the planning phase of about 3 to 6 months. So to find this resource, you go to our website at homeownerexperience.com and click this Tips to Sell button. It's going to take you over to this big long guide where we walk you through the 5 phases and steps. So if you scroll down here, you'll see we already covered the 3 to 6 month before you list time frame. Phase 2 is going to be that 3 month to 45 days or so time frame where you're going to finalize the plan for your sale, figure out the exact timing, work on a detailed calendar to get it all ready. So let's talk more details about this phase. So if you hit this phase 2 link, it's going to take you right down to the beginning of phase 2. So here we are at phase 2, where you're going to work on the timing and finalizing the plan for your sale. Basically, you've decided you're going to sell, you have an idea of your timeline and how you're going to do your logistics. You've gathered your team of a professional real estate agent, maybe a real estate agent where you're going to be moving to out of state, for example, and you've worked on the logistics and the order, the financing, that's all set up and ready. So now we're going to get into the details of what do you do to your property to maximize the return on investment, and how can you work on this slowly and diligently ahead of time to minimize the stress and inconvenience. So the first part of our goal is always going to be make your home look like a model home, as clean and presentable as possible. Now, it doesn't need to be the most up to date. We can talk through that, and we can also do what we can in pricing your home, but it is a must that the property be presentable and clean. So we're gonna need to take care of those repairs that you know that have been there, maybe take care of repairs that we didn't know that came up in inspections, and work on how to present your property, photograph, market, and get it to market. Here at Homeowner Experience, we're gonna work on a very detailed calendar for you. We use Google Calendars to work with our sellers and to plan out all of those details. So if we're looking here at our resource, obviously we're gonna make that home look like a model home, like we said. So that includes removing all of your personal clutter, pre-packing your personal items to minimize what's in the home, to allow 2 things. First off, the buyers to imagine the space and their things in the home, and also to minimize that stress of your transition during escrow of having to move and pack. So in this phase, you're gonna just take down to the bare bones of what you need to live in the property for a month or 2, or maybe you're moving ahead of time and you don't have to worry about that pre-packing, which is even a very nice convenience, but not everyone can do that. So no matter what, we want you to pre-pack in phase 1 before we ever get to market. Then we're gonna make those obvious repairs that I talked about. We're gonna get a handyman out to start attacking those as soon as possible, or maybe you have handyman skills and you can start knocking that list off yourself. Just you need to make it a higher priority and get it done now. Then we're gonna decide on home updates. So working with the real estate professional that you hired that is very experienced in selling homes in your local neighborhood, you're going to sit down and talk about how much investment you can put in and what the return is going to be. At Homeowner Experience, our goal is always to at least double your money. So every dollar in, you get at least $2 out. Otherwise, it's not worth the time and effort. So we're going to strategically talk about where those areas in your home could be to really maximize your return. And again, this goes to your budget and your preferences, whether this is something you want to do or not do. So we can definitely discuss that in our home seller consultation, what works out best for you and what your budget might be. The key areas, no matter what your budget is going to be paint, landscaping, and flooring. Paint makes such a huge difference in presenting the home as fresh and clean. Paint can modernize by just slightly changing a color to a more modern color. It can also hide imperfections. Maybe your kitchen cabinets are dated or worn. Paint can give them a whole new life. So paint is a miracle worker inside and out. The second is going to be landscape. Now your landscape needs to look very well cared for and prepared and presented well. So that means you have some color and nicely trimmed bushes. Nothing's dead, nothing's overgrown. It also means you have a very tidy yard. Mulch is a huge factor here. Fresh, natural colored mulch, not red, not black, not anything dyed, but natural pine mulch is great. It is a warm brown color that really just makes, instead of dry, tired soil, it makes the landscape come alive and really pop, especially if you've got healthy plants there. The plants are going to appreciate it, and in the photos, it's going to look spectacular. And then let's talk about the last one, flooring. Now, flooring in a property is really important. It is very common for me to walk into a home and people have 3, 4, even 5 different kinds of flooring throughout the house. The first big thing is that really breaks up the house and doesn't present it as well thought out or nicely updated or large and flowing. All of those things can be fixed by updating and changing your flooring to match as much as possible. If you have only 1 or 2 different types of flooring and it is really consistent, it could just be a good deep clean, such as tile grout to be steam cleaned to make it look fresh and new. So those are things that we again can discuss in the seller consultation to customize for your particular property. Now, there could be some more extensive updates that your budget does allow or your timeline does allow. Things like lighting updates can really freshen up a home and are really relatively inexpensive and make a big impact. Kitchen updates, I would hesitate again based on your budget or based on the current condition of the kitchen, whether you should do something there or not. But at a minimum, you should consider if your kitchen is very dated. I've had people who've got original kitchens in their home still. You should at a minimum consider paint and probably countertops to give it a fresh look. But if it's very old and very dirty inside or falling apart, you might consider some prefab cabinets if your kitchen is small enough. But again, we're not going to do that unless your budget allows for it or the kitchen is so dated that it must be addressed that way. The key is always to present it as clean and well cared for as much as possible without spending too much money. This is, like I said, painting cabinets can make a huge difference there. If you don't know how much these things cost or you'd like to get an idea, I do have a great video on a couple different properties I've worked on and how much they spent on kitchens and bathroom updates to give you a feel for what a quick redo or facelift could cost. So check out the link below for that. Now, once you've got a plan for what updates you're gonna do, we need to do the next level of declutter, purging, and prepping for staging. So this is going to be strategic to maximize the value and use of your property. We want it to feel spacious and open and to flow and for buyers to see the full function and use of the home. I do run into a lot of properties where people have lived in it and repurposed rooms for their needs, which of course is awesome and totally okay. But when we're presenting the property, we want to present it in a standard way because then people see the vision and they don't subtract a room. For example, if you've used it as an art studio, or a dark room or something for your hobby, it might not feel like a bedroom and we need to return it back to a bedroom because someone can always imagine an extra bedroom being used for creative space, but sometimes when it's creative space, they have a hard time imagining it as a bedroom. So things like that we'll discuss and approach. Here at Homeowner Experience, we're gonna lay out that calendar for you. Once we have a plan of what's gonna be done, we'll lay out the ideal calendar and help you execute it. If this is overwhelming to you, we do have a service where we will completely manage and be like your general contractor with everybody coming in to do the work for you. So don't feel overwhelmed here. We can help in this area as well. Now, as we're getting closer to that 45-day price point, we really need to keep a close eye on the market. That's going to be understanding the pricing of current properties, sold properties, how many homes are on the market, How rare is it for something to sell in your neighborhood? What do homes typically look like? Or what's the high end of the price point and the low end of the price point? And what's the differences between those properties? So we have a really good feel of the details. Now, Zillow, Redfin, those are automatic value estimates that don't take into account so many different factors. So that is just a very general guidance. The best way to figure it out is to work through a professional and watch actual comparable sales in your market over time. So let's quickly close with the biggest mistakes that could happen in phase 2. Number 1, not neutralizing your property by removing personal items, maybe lightening up the paint or things like that will definitely cost you money in your end sales price. So are you willing to do that or not? Well, that is one of the biggest mistakes if people think they can get the best price when they don't do the effort to present it in the best condition. Second biggest mistake is leaving a lot of personal furniture or items that might be dated in the property that really bring the property value down. The third is assuming buyers will look past small blemishes. Here in San Jose, put it into perspective. People are paying on average $1.5+ million for your property. So if you've got a property that's beat up, doesn't have touched up paint, or bathrooms that are falling apart, they're just going to be so stuck on the fact that this is costing how much that they're likely not going to move forward with an offer. Our goal as a real estate professional helping you is to remove or minimize all of those excuses for buyers to come forward with the best offer possible. And that last one kind of goes together. It is leaving the home as is without taking on some of those updates. Now, again, this could be your goal is to have complete convenience and no stress, and you don't want to do updates, and that's okay. As long as you realize that that is going to affect your profit and your return on investment. So choosing which one is a higher priority for you is really critical in this phase. We'd love to help you out with a custom seller consultation. Check out the links below, and I look forward to talking with you soon. Are you considering selling in the next 6 or 12 months? Well, let's plan the home prep now to get the highest possible price when you're ready to sell. Many people ask my advice on what they should do to update their home for the best return on investment. To make your property most attractive to today's buyers involves key steps that are constantly changing. I offer a 1-hour selling consultation to plan your home prep steps. And in this property visit, we will talk about key areas to update now, discuss a calendar plan to meet your schedule, talk about the market today and my projections for your timeline, review an estimated net sheet, and share trusted home prep contractors we work with often. See the link below to schedule your seller consultation appointment.